Welcome to the first video of Term 2, Normal Waking Consciousness versus Altered States of Consciousness. None of the content in this video is actually new, it's just a bit of a rehash of some of the content towards the end of last term that I felt that we needed to spend a little bit more time firming up. So just a really quick video. Okay. So you remember last term we spoke about attention and the fact that when we're in normal waking consciousness we actually have a lot of control over our attention. Attention actually means the information that we're actively processing at any given time, so what you're paying attention to. There are two different types of attention that you need to know about, and two different types of processes that require the different types of attention. So control processes are processes that require selective attention or really focused attention. That's because they require full awareness and mental effort. And I've put there the example is learning to drive. So when you're first learning to drive, there's lots of things that you need to concentrate on. Changing gears, blinkers, windscreen wipers, lights, watching the traffic. And this is very much a control process for someone who is learning how to drive. This means that it needs full awareness and mental effort, so therefore selective attention. You need to select that you're paying attention to the car and everything that you're doing in there. You must focus your attention in order to successfully complete the task. You can't divide your attention for control processes. However, automatic processes means that you can have divided attention. So automatic processes require little awareness or mental effort, and therefore you can tend to do perhaps two tasks at once and they won't interfere with each other. So divided attention basically means that you can tend to perform at least two or perhaps more tasks at the same time. So an example would be walking for an adolescent. That's very much an automatic process. And if you're walking, you could perhaps listen to music at the same time. And if you're doing those both without one impacting on the other, so you're doing them equally well, then it means that they're both automatic processes and you've been able to divide your attention. Just note that I've said walking for an adolescent because this means that you've been walking for perhaps 15 years already. For a 1-year-old or a 2-year-old where walking is still quite new for them, they perhaps wouldn't be able to divide their attention like you can. A task can start off being a controlled process and then become more automatic. So we can talk about the fact that walking for a young child can be controlled, but for you is an automatic process. But the example I've put there, texting on a phone. If you watch someone who's only learning how to text, they really need to exert a lot of attention. So selective attention, which means it's a controlled process. Whereas for you guys, it's very much an automatic process and you could probably do that while doing something else. The last part of information that I just want to revisit is comparing a normal waking consciousness to an altered state of consciousness. And in this slide, I've particularly chosen meditation. But make sure that all of these points that I've done here, that you should be able to do this with normal waking consciousness and other states of consciousness, such as daydreaming, alcohol-induced state of consciousness, and of course sleep. Very much likely that this will be on an exam, so of course therefore a SAC. So here are some comparison statements that you should be able to remember. So in normal waking consciousness, we're awake and aware of internal and external events, whereas when we're meditating, we tend to focus on one single thought and our awareness decreases. So in normal waking consciousness, we know what's going on around us in and out, but when we're meditating, we're probably only aware of one single thought, so slightly different. In a normal waking consciousness, we can process different parts of what's in our consciousness, whereas when meditating, the content is very limited, so you might be focusing on just a sunny beach or something like that, or perhaps just your breathing, so you're not able to switch your attention as well. In normal waking consciousness, we can control our attention and undergo selective attention, so therefore we can carry out controlled processes. But when you're meditating, you probably can't carry out controlled processes because you're not focusing your attention on a particular task as such. In normal waking consciousness, your perception of pain is normal and accurate, whereas when you're meditating, it might be reduced. In normal waking consciousness, we have accurate perception of time, but we know that when you meditate, this perception of time might change, so time might go faster or slower. So basically, you should be able to compare a normal waking consciousness to another state of consciousness using at least a couple of different comparison statements, and you will definitely be asked to do that in the exam. So please have a read over the relevant chapter in the book and review this information before you go on to the next PowerPoint. Okay, I'll see you in the next PowerPoint. Bye.